trying to plan some fun holiday traditions for your family this year, I have got you covered. Today, we're talking more family traditions for the holidays because traditions create lasting memories and instill a sense of belonging and consistency for our children. So in today's episode, we're going to explore some wonderful holiday traditions that you can add to your family's holidays this year. Family traditions for the holidays. Does the sound of that just make you feel warm and fuzzy? It totally does for me. To me, it makes me think of cozy socks and hot chocolate by the fireplace. Or going back to when I was a kid, it just reminds me of snowball fights and big puffy coats. That's what family traditions make me think of. Traditions are more than just activities, though. They are opportunities to create your own unique story for your family, to create special moments of joy, and to build a legacy of love, connection, and memories. And I feel like that's what we as parents want. Now, I know that the holidays can be a little overwhelming, so to help you stay organized this holiday season, I have a holiday planner that you can download for less than the cost of a cup of coffee. Go to the show notes to learn more about my 30-plus page Christmas planner. I personally use this to get all my ideas down and to create a holiday bucket list. It is so helpful just to do a big brain dump of everything holiday related. So I highly recommend that you check that out. Now, on to some family traditions that you might want to start this year. Okay, so number one is something that you probably already do, but it's so fun and so special. So number one is to listen to Christmas music together. So personally, I love Christmas music. I mean, I can start it in August if it weren't so, socially unacceptable. But I just love listening to Christmas music in the car with the kids. And even though they're getting older, they still love listening to Christmas music with their mama. So I think you can do this in any number of ways. You can just play Christmas music in the car. You can play Christmas music at home. You can have a Christmas dance party, whatever works for your family. If you have a routine, a tradition of doing family dinners on a certain night where it's kind of a little bit more formal or a little bit more special than just a regular family dinner, play Christmas music in the background, even just, some classical holiday themed music. That can be a really nice way to kind of make the holidays feel special. And it's simple enough to do that, it doesn't take a lot of planning. It's not a big to do, right? But it's actually it adds a little bit of joy to the holiday season. Okay, so tradition number 2 is to make or give gifts to friends, family, and neighbors. So one thing my family does that I just absolutely love is that every year we walk around the neighborhood and we give chocolates and candy to our neighbors, at least the friendly ones. No, I'm just kidding. But we do have our favorites for sure. But we just honestly love gifting our neighbors. We have such great neighbors. So it's something that the kids love to do. It's something that I've had a lot of fun doing, and it just feels really neighborly. So this can be done in a number of different ways. You can make this a fun DIY thing. You can give something handmade. You can just buy, store-bought gifts, chocolates, whatever. I think it's just such a nice and thoughtful thing to do. Another alternative is if you like to sing or, go caroling, that's an option too. But for us, we really just enjoy giving gifts to the people around us. It's just so fun for us. Number 3 is kind of a simple one, but it's just one of those things that is enjoyable and it's a special part of the holiday season. So number 3 is to go to a Christmas tree farm and cut down a tree together. If that's not an option for you, it could be that you go to the Christmas tree lot and have everyone participate in picking out a tree. And if you don't do a live tree, that's okay too. I think this is something that you can still incorporate. For us, whenever we bring out the tree, we've used artificial and live trees in the past. So whenever we bring out the artificial tree, it still feels a lot of fun. So I think that there's ways to make that special regardless of whether you're using a live tree or an artificial tree. Okay, and then speaking of trees, number 4 is to decorate the tree together. So I think that you can make decorating the tree a fun family event where the kids help you or they watch and they listen to music or, watch a movie or something. Something festive, right? Just kind of making it a thing that you guys do every year. So when my kids were a little bit younger and they wanted to help with decorating the tree, and if you're not watching this, I'm saying help in quotation marks because you probably know when you have toddlers and little ones, they're not that helpful with Christmas tree decorations. And so it can be a pretty stressful thing. So what I would do is I would put on a Christmas movie for them to watch while I decorated the tree. And we were all in the same room. And it just, actually, I still do this, but it just made it a little bit easier and took a little bit of the pressure off of what I was doing and a little bit of their attention and put it toward a movie. And then they would still get up and want to help, but it's not like they were trying to help the whole time. So we did this, honestly, for a few years in a row, just out of necessity, because I was so stressed out about them, you know, poking their fingers or breaking something. And so I just wanted to have a way to kind of contain them while I was doing the bulk of the work. And then I would just bring them in to decorate the tree, you know, in little bursts. And all they really wanted to do, honestly, was put up a few ornaments to feel like they're part of the fun and part of the festivities. So you can make decorating the tree something special, make an event of it. Wear a Santa hat, whatever speaks to you, whatever you think would be fun, and then repeat it every year. It'll be something that your family cherishes, even long into the future. Okay, and then number 5, while we're speaking of Christmas movies, okay, this is kind of an obvious one, but watch holiday movies together. I think in the busyness of the Christmas season, of the holidays, this can kind of slip under the cracks, right? But I swear that this is the stuff that memories are made of. I think you can have a family holiday movie marathon, or just like make it a point to watch holiday movies together on the weekends. Either way works. I think just incorporating something special and making it feel a little bit special is just a super fun way to create a new fun holiday tradition. So make sure to have cozy blankets, popcorn, hot cocoa, whatever your family enjoys, and let each family member pick their favorite holiday movie. I think it's also a bonus if you guys are wearing your matching family pajamas, which I covered in last week's episode. Some of my favorite holiday movies and ones that we will be watching on repeat this year are The Grinch, Home Alone. I think that is like one of my all-time favorite movies. I was a kid when it came out in the theaters, and it was just the funniest thing ever. So I made sure to introduce my kids to that one as early as possible. I haven't done Christmas Vacation with the kids, but I will probably screen it and see if it's appropriate. I don't remember. But that might be one to add into the rotation now that my kiddos are a little bit older. And then there's Elf, and there are so many other good ones that I can't even think of right now. But at some point, I feel like I'm going to have to put together a list for you because there are a lot of great holiday movies. Okay, and then number 6 is to kind of be silly and just have fun with the idea of Christmas traditions. So you can do something like have an ugly Christmas sweater party, or pin the nose on the Rudolph game where everybody plays. I think sometimes the sillier, the more memorable, and that's probably why the ugly Christmas sweater trend took off, because it's so silly, and it's just like, it's just goofy, right? It's just like goofball fun. Okay, so one thing that my family always does, and this is one of my favorite Christmas traditions, is we always take a walk together on Christmas morning around our community in our family pajamas, eating candy canes. And sometimes I have been known to play Christmas music on my phone. It is totally embarrassing for all of us. I think all of us are like embarrassed by it, but it's so fun and sweet, and we get the best reactions from people. It's just something I love doing. I look forward to it every year. Okay, so one of the mamas in my Facebook group said that her family always orders Chinese food while they decorate their Christmas tree. And I just love that because it's one of those things that her family does. It's like every year we decorate the tree and we eat Chinese food. That is fun to me. That's one of those things that is not difficult to do, but it really just creates a sense of like tradition and consistency. And I think just a sense of like, this is what we do. This is what our family personality is like. So I love that. And another one of my listeners said, okay, her family has a sugar cookie decorating contest every year. That's super fun. And I think these are just like the small, simple traditions that your kids will look back on very fondly and want to continue well into the future. So that is just super fun. Okay, number 7 is to drive or walk around your neighborhood to look at the Christmas lights. How amazing is it that the whole community basically just lights up for Christmas? I think it's one of the most special parts of the holidays, and I just love when the malls and the shopping centers and the homes around us start putting their lights up. So we try to take a walk every year around our neighborhood, and I think we also bring candy canes or hot chocolate, depending on how cold it is. But it's just so fun to stroll around and look at the Christmas lights. So this is something that you can make a tradition in your family too. It's so simple, but it's something that you can add to your Christmas calendar, and it's fun. It's exciting, and it makes you feel like you are slowing down and enjoying the season, right? And I think that's one of the nice things about it. Okay, number 8 is to make a special meal. So, for example, you can make cinnamon buns on Christmas morning, or you can always make your egg and broccoli bake for Christmas morning, or something like that, where you start weaving in foods that your family loves. Maybe they're special foods. I always make pancakes on Christmas morning. So weave in special foods and make those a part of your regular holiday celebrations. I think the sky's the limit there, and this is something that is just so personal to each family. Maybe you have a special meatloaf that your grandma made, or a special cake that you just make for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, something like that. Food is a great way to just do something special and make it a regular tradition. So that's definitely something you can consider. Okay, number 9. This is a fun one. This is to create what's called a gratitude jar. And this is basically like throughout the holidays, you can have each family member write down things that they're grateful for and place them in a jar. Then on New Year's Eve, you would read these notes together to reflect on the blessings of the year. Another way that I have heard this done is starting on January 1st, you would create this gratitude jar or a memory jar where you write down great things that you experienced together as a family and then read those at the end of the year. I think that's super cool. I love that idea. I have never done it before, but it's one of those things that I sort of want to intend to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I'll get to it, but I love the idea. Okay, so number 10 is to celebrate New Year's together as a family. Now, you may already do this, and this isn't about really complicating New Year's, but find a special way to celebrate the New Year, even if your kids are little, and enjoy those little moments. Maybe they can have a glass of sparkling apple cider. There are organic options now, by the way. I'm pretty sure that Martinelli's makes an organic sparkling apple cider. So they can celebrate with apple cider. You can celebrate, at 9 p.m. or even at 6 p.m., just depending on how old your children are. You can get everybody dressed up. You can make it your own. But I think it's really fun to do that. My family never goes out on New Year's. It's just one of those holidays I would just prefer to stay at home. So we kind of do small stuff like this where we just celebrate, we cook a nice meal, and then we'll have our sparkling apple cider. My husband and I will have our champagne. We'll toast for the new year. And then number 11, last but not least, is to sum up the year with a letter. Now, what does that mean? Okay, so this is a great idea that I've heard. And it entails basically writing a year-end letter to each of your children, summing up their year, what it was like, what they did, talking about their milestones and achievements. I just think it's such a sweet and meaningful thing to do. If you have like a mommy journal or something like that you're creating for your children, which don't feel bad if you don't. I intended to do this. It didn't happen. But like if you have something like this would be a great place to write it, or you can just create letters and then store them for your children or read them to them, depending on the age. It really is up to you. Make it your own. And that's kind of the concept with all of these family traditions. None of these are like groundbreaking things, but they really are about finding your family's personality in the way that you celebrate the holidays. They are about being intentional, planning ahead, and making these things personal to your family. So find the traditions that work for you, build on them, and then repeat them next year. It is such a great way to give your children that sense of family strength, family personality, belonging, and pride. It's so simple, but it's a really powerful thing to do. So I am so glad that you are thinking about creating family traditions for the holidays for your family. I really cherish this time of year. I hope you have an amazing holiday season, and I will be back next week in the next episode.